Greetings, greetings, greetings. We are here. We are here. Juice Champs, the podcast family. Welcome, welcome. Um, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We appreciate everybody for showing up. We got a special show tonight. Me and Lashay got a special one for y'all tonight. And I'm excited about this. You should be excited. Make sure y'all are sharing the live. And as we started with agameherbal.com, go to agameherbal.com, use code FRUITUP15 for 15% off a whole month supply, family. And now, right before I get into this, right before I get into this, hold on real quick. I want to put I got to get the banner right up here for my brother. You know what I'm saying? We got Overcoming Addictions with Kev Ramon. And tonight, that's who we got on here. Lashay, how you doing? Kev, what's going on? How y'all feeling?
Doing beautiful. How are you?
Doing great, brother.
Excellent. Kev Ramon. We got Kev Ramon on Juice Champs family. And Kev, me and Lashay started this, and we was thinking, just high-level conversation. High-level conversation. That's the whole intent of this. No matter what the conversation is, as long as it's high level and it's going to take the people somewhere. So we've had some good guests. We had some great guests, special guests. And tonight, I feel honored to be doing this because, you and I are working together now, helping the people and supporting the people and, eating better and doing right. You are on day 58 of all watermelon after last year doing 160 days, man. How you feeling, family?
Feel great, brother. It's nothing special now, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just routine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not coming from anything. I'm not coming like from the standard American diet where, I was eating poorly and feeling sick in my body and all that. I've been on just fruit, just mono eating just fruit for over a year. I'm probably around 400 some days now. You know what I'm saying? So, feeling great is that's just what it is now. That's just every day. That's my norm. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little, I guess that answer is not as exciting as it may have been at one point. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Doing it for a minute. So, but yeah.
Facts. And you know what though? Even with the numbers now, the number day 58, the 100-day watermelon washout challenge. We got so many people eating watermelon now. It's like everybody doing it. It's way different this year than it was last year. It's a lot of challenges out there too. What's the difference from your journey last year to what you got going on this year?
I feel like last year I was being poured into a lot. I was just being poured into, like I was just receiving. People call them downloads. I don't really, I mean, that's like a pretty cool word for it. But I don't really like that word, but I can't think of nothing else right now. I was just constant, like it was just constant. Like it was coming in so fast. I couldn't write it down fast enough sometimes. Like I would be driving and would have to pull over because something so good would come. You're like, oh, I gotta write this down. Now I'll pull over. Like this was normal, like that first time. This time, that hasn't been happening. This time it's like I'm at a different level. Now it's been about a different type of growth, right? I got the book, Overcoming Addictions. I didn't have no books last year. I wrote an ebook, and the ebook has been doing like really well. I started coaching. I wasn't doing no coaching last year. Like I had one person reached out to me and she hired me and she quit like in 3 days. You know, I don't even count that. So now like I have clients though. Like I've been coaching, you know, regularly. I'm working on a coaching program. It's gonna be like a 3-month program. You know, I'm working on more books. I'm working on a book now titled Why I Became a Fruitarian. And then I already got the next book just ready as soon as I finish this one, which is gonna be called SATA. Right? You know what SATA is, right?
No, I was gonna say, please expound on that.
Yeah, standard American diet addiction. Like I came up with that to describe it, and then like the subtitle is gonna be something like the most addicting and deadliest addiction on the planet. It's an addiction that nobody talks about or even acknowledges as a serious addiction, but it kills more people than every other cause of death combined. You could fucking combine it, square root it, and do the complicated math on it, and it still wouldn't come close. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, like the list of endless of diseases caused by the standard American diet. It's endless. You're talking like millions of people dying every year from the standard American diet. Millions. There's 422 million people, last I checked, that have diabetes. That's almost 500 million.
That's insane.
That's insane.
That's a genocide. And that's why our past guest, Adama Lashay, she calls it a genocide. How people live and how people eat, and like it is a genocide because people are poisoning themselves. But a lot of people are being poisoned, like children are being poisoned by their parents, basically. Like that's a genocide. That's what makes it a genocide, because kids don't know any better. They don't know they're eating poison. They don't know they're eating toxins. All they know is that it tastes good. But parents who do know better, they just don't want to do better, are feeding that to their kids. So we're dealing with a mass genocide right now, but we just don't want to call it that. But that's really what it is. It's an addiction. It's an addiction-driven genocide. But there's some,
You know what else it is? It's also a mass suicide.
Oh, absolutely.
Because people are slowly killing themselves. Every person ever to die from a disease killed themselves. Period.
Kev, when you say that, right? Is that so is that everybody got to take full responsibility, or like, so what if somebody say like, I didn't know I was being poisoned, I didn't know I was killing myself? Did that account for anything for anybody?
Bro, people full of shit. That's what that accounts for, right? Because the ingredients are on the package of everything that people are eating, and they won't read it. Like, people don't want to know. You know, like my mom used to be on me. She's the only person that ever said anything to me, like to my face, about the way I was eating. And she just used to be on me about it, you know. And just like, oh man, you need to eat something else. Oh man, yeah. Oh man, you skinny. Oh man, da. Right? And like we would have conversations, and you know, she would start complaining about her health, and I would tell her, you're doing it to yourself. And she would just, nah, man, it's age related, man. I'm old, man. I'm old. This is just what happened. Yada, 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 right? Like she stood on this for so long, right? And then one day, like just recently, I was over her house. I don't know what I think I took her out, shopping and to do things. Got back to her house, and she was just standing there in the kitchen, and then she just like randomly just looked at me, and she was like, "Oh man, you're not gonna go through the things I'm going through because you be eating all that fruit." And she was talking about her health. Like for years, she been like, when talking to me, she been blaming her conditions on her age. And then she just came on and said, because I eat fruit, I'm not gonna go through the same things that she go through. And she right. I'm not. For that very reason. Right? She already knew this. She already knew this. And when people like you, me, Shay, when we bring fruit to the forefront, and remind people like, hey, this exists too. Forgot about fruit, right? And when we show them eating fruit, right? If you look at that and you compare that, just average person, standard American diet, eating a standard American diet, there's no doubt. Nobody's going to say McDonald's is healthier than an apple.
Facts.
Nobody's lost like that. Nobody's going to say Domino's or Pizza Hut is better than a mango. You understand what I'm saying? There's nobody lost like that. There's nobody that even would begin that. Right? So on some level, everyone knows. I mean, there could be some exceptions, but I feel like most people know, and most people think like they don't know. No,
they play stupid because, like, it's funny how fruit has become the boogeyman online. Like so I've had a couple of photos go viral, my watermelon photos, and the comments, all that sugar, like they act like fruit is going to literally create diabetes. They act like it's going to kill me. Oh yeah, I'm destroying my pancreas. I've been hearing so many uneducated guests about what I'm doing for myself when the opposite is happening, right? Like, we understand what's going on in our bodies. We're the ones who's living the life. But it's amazing how there's this, like, I don't know if they're bots, but there is like this deliberate, like, agenda almost, or people are just really this stupid. They come under the comments and they really think that we're eating too much sugar. But if you go on their personal profiles, they're resharing all kinds of creative cakes and all kinds of junk food. But it's so alarming when we go on a fruit fast. So that's why we go viral, because most of the shares are people calling us stupid. I have been reported. I've gotten these care messages from Facebook asking me if I am okay, if I'm harming myself. They've given me like a hotline number and all kinds of stuff, because people have started treating fruit like it's what's harmful for us. It's like we live in the upside down. People really don't have common sense anymore. They think natural food, or they act like natural food, is bad for us.
Yeah, you know what? The truth is, these people like clearly don't care about nutrition, right? You're not thinking about nutrition when you go into a restaurant, when you go on to McDonald's, when you eating whatever from the standard American diet. You're not thinking about nutrition, and they're not thinking about it when they see people like you. What it is there's it goes like I was just starting to talk about it a little bit when I was talking about how people see us, like people like us eat fruit. We're showing them what's right. And the truth is in us all. The truth bears witness to the truth when it sees it. You can't hide that. Like you can't shut that off. You know, first time I heard about eating just fruit. Up here, I was like, that's crazy. That dude is crazy. In here, it's like, yo, there's something to this. Right? And so if you're not ready to deal with this, then you have to comfort yourself some kind of way. And so the way these people do it is by trying to make fruit. You listen to them, and fruit will be worse than the standard American diet. It'll be worse than eating the dead animals and the poisons and everything. It'll be worse. They have to make themselves feel better. The way they do that is to make fruit sound equally as bad as everything else. Still, like, I mean, they play that game with themselves. Like they're only deceiving themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because again, the truth is inside of every one of us. It's in there. You know. So yeah, that's real interesting. That's real interesting. But that's part of the journey. Who would have thought that so many, just the number of extra things that come along with eating healthy, with eating fruit. There's so many extra things that you never knew was part of this journey until you got on it. Like I've gotten threats. I've gotten threats in my DMs. Like people have threatened me. Right? I mean, I've never been like hated the way I've been hated since I've been eating fruit. I never.
It's crazy.
I've never been judged and criticized and ridiculed and never until I start telling people about my journey, my day, what I ate today, what I eat every day, what day of watermelon I'm on. You know, it's because I'm eating healthy. Just because I'm eating fruit. I definitely didn't get none of this when I was posting pictures of that IHOP and that apple with 5 plates on the table.
Facts.
I was getting nothing but love then.
You get praise for that. That look good. That's fire. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of response you get from that. Before we get to talking about the watermelon washout experience, though, real quick. So when you talk about overcoming addictions, right? Like people don't. First of all, go to overcomingaddictions.info to get the book, family. It's a very valuable read. When I say in the book, you talk about overcoming addictions. How do you overcome the addiction if you don't think it's an addiction?
You can prove it's an addiction. Just try to stop eating it. Go on a fruit cleanse or fruit fast or whatever you want to call it. You stop eating it, and there'll be no question in your mind. Like, oh, I'm addicted. Like, I'm a drug addict. Like, for real. I went through withdrawals. Like, real withdrawals. Like, my first year of eating fruit, I went through withdrawals. I was having dreams. I was having nightmares. Like, I was having thoughts haunt me and just torment me. Like, there would be days where, like, up here was so loud and just like trying to like force me to go get a pizza or something. Just in here was just crazy, right? So you never know how much you're addicted to something until you go without it. As long as you have it, you don't see a problem.
Facts.
Ever had the relapse dream where you like literally ate some beer?
I just had one. Yeah, I was eating McDonald's. I was eating McDonald's.
Were you lucid in the dream? Like, did you were you your conscious when you were eating it? Because like you know how you have like them real lucid dreams where you're kind of aware.
Yeah, no, I wasn't aware. I was tearing it. I ain't gonna say what I was tearing it up though. I was tearing it up. Yeah, I ain't know. Then I woke up like that was just weird. I thought that was over. Last year, I mean not last year, but the first year I ate fruit, I was having that a lot. And it ended up like happening. After that year, I fell off. And I didn't go like all the way back to like full standard American diet, dead animals, anything that comes from animals. I was kind of like in the middle, how I saw like a compromise. I'm eating vegan, right? And at the time, I thought vegan was healthy too, and I was having a ball because I was eating. I'm like, vegan is healthy. Yeah, let me get it. I'm at the food truck. Like, let me get that and that. Give me everything on the truck. Give me one of everything. Like, I literally did that. That's the kind of addict I was. And I would take several different meals and just open them all up and just have them all on the table in front of me. And it's just whatever I wanted. I'm just going down the line, like whatever I want. I ate like that regularly.
How long would you say your transition was to get to this point though? Because a lot of us we've been, it's a transition. We have these intentions when we get into it to be 100% of something, and we might be successful for a certain period of time, but eventually, like you said, you start having dreams, you get temptation, you fall back into it. But when you fall back into it, you're still kind of conscious of what you allow yourself to eat. You won't go too far off the spectrum. Like you've actually developed like a new standard, even though it's not like a perfect standard, it's a better one than before you started your journey. But it's like in cycles. Like for me, like I'll do really well in cycles and I get better with every cycle. And I do believe, I'm a graduate to that state where I'm just addiction free. How long have you been on your journey to get to this point?
To get to this point, I really don't know how to answer that. I've been on my journey altogether for about 5 or 6 years. And I'm just basing that off of like Facebook memories. Like I see memories. I think I just seen a memory like 5 years ago, and I just had a bed full of fruit and I was eating fruit. I was like, wow, I was doing this way back then. So I'm gonna say about 5 or 6 years I started, but like you're talking infancy stages. At this point, I wasn't even trying to eat just fruit. I was just eating fruit. I was eating a lot of other things too. Right. So eventually, that lasted for a period of time. I don't know how long. And then I've shared this with Bobby before. I had this spiritual experience where I was at a fork in the road, and it was just like revealed to me that if I wanted to go higher, then I would have to choose this path of fruit, right? Or I could stay where I was at. which was pretty good. And I chose to go higher. I chose the fruit. And from that point, then, and okay, so what's different about my journey, I believe, over everyone else's, is I didn't know where I was going. I didn't start with the destination in mind. Like I didn't, like a lot of people today, like they start off, I want to be a fruitarian. I didn't start off like that. Like I had no idea where I was going. I was just following that voice, that guidance from within, you know. So I got on that path, and then eventually, you know, I built up to eating just fruit. I didn't even know that's what I was supposed to do. Like even when I had to make that choice, that fork in the road moment, I didn't know choosing a path of fruit meant 100% fruit and nothing else. I didn't know what it meant, but I chose it because it meant growth. It meant to go higher. And so, you know, I'm eating fruit and I'm just checking with like on the inside. You know, I make decisions based on my peace. You know, if I feel my peace is disturbed about making a decision, then I don't make it. You know, if I think about doing something and my peace is still there, then I do it. Right. And so I would check my peace within, like all throughout that journey. And I'm just going to throw out some random percentages because I don't know exactly what they were, but let's just say 40% fruit I'm checking. Nope. 50. Nope. 70. Nope. 80. Nope. 95. Nope. Like, what the fuck? Like, basically only eating fruit. And it wasn't until I was 100% fruit that I felt peace inside. And that's when I knew that's what I was supposed to do. That's how I knew. And so that's when my first year of fruit began. Right. And so boom, I did that. Like I said, I was going through like hella withdrawals, dreams, all kind of things. Right. And then I fell off. And then I there was a period of time where I was vegan, like just eating vegan. And but I was still thinking about fruit. Like, and after a while, it's like I gotta get back to the fruit. Like I really want to eat just fruit. Like that's what I want to do. It's like I know what I want to do now. But I had to deal with those addictions. Right? Because those addictions are real. Like you will not be able to eat the way you eat, the way you want to eat, as long as those addictions are present. You know, yeah, you could have some success. I did 20 plus days of like just lemonade fasting on a standard American diet, like a full addict. You know, you can have some successes, but them addictions are always going to creep back up. You know, you got to deal with it. And at the root of all addiction is some sort of pain. You know, there's an area that you need to heal in. You know, so like, you know, I see it like as a beautiful thing because, you know, having the addiction alerts you to something going on within you that needs to be addressed.
Right.
Right. So I had to deal with that. But first I had to find out what was going on. Like I didn't know I was an emotional eater. I didn't know I was struggling with addictions. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know I was eating for pleasure. I didn't know any of that until like as I, you know, I guess they call it shadow work, was doing that work, you know, just searching within, seeking answers, you know, seeking you shall find, right? Things began being revealed to me. And that's when I learned all like about the addiction, the emotional eating, like all those things. It was all just revealed to me. And the reason why was revealed to me too. And so, boom, that's when I started the watermelon journey last year as my answer to that. And my first day of watermelon, like I was freed from the addictions. So, and I've
I
been
think
addicted ever since.
I think that's obvious to say if you've been on a 400 days since that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy to me. Like, we had a Professor Spear on, and he was talking about transitioning, right? And you and I came together and we did the watermelon washout. And if it's anything I learned about this experience this year for the watermelon washout, because last year when we did the actual watermelon washout, it was literally only 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
So so it was like it's something that I never foreseen. I never foresaw. Like I didn't see where that was going. But this year we did 100 day. So, and what I learned is it was kind of the same as the 14 day. And let me explain that to you. Because people fell off in the same amount of time. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like it was a 30-day group, but you got this long journey to look forward to. I was talking to Professor Spirit the other night, and I asked him about like people transitioning. Is that a good thing for people transition 100 day? He like, no, we need to focus on people transitioning to a more balanced, meeting people where they at. That's really not a good idea to put people on a long journey like that of eating one fruit, especially if they're coming from a sound way of eating. What's your way of, because you and I, like you said, we started to eat watermelon. How would you help somebody transition into eating better food?
I just tell people, you got to do what you're comfortable with. I'm not trying to be, like when I work with people, ultimately I'm pointing them to themselves. The answers are inside of you. I'm always redirecting people and back to pay attention to what's going on inside of you. Listen to that. Like, no one can guide you better than the wisdom that's already in you. Like, people gotta learn how to get in tune with that and listen to that. Let that guide them. People listen to other people too much. Like, what are they fruit of the people you listening to? What's their fruit? You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking about this earlier, right? Just, along the lines of what Shay was talking about earlier, just about the comments she get on her posts, right? And I've heard you say something like very similar to this, if not identical, but just said your way. I would never take health or nutrition advice from somebody that don't even eat food.
Facts.
You can't tell me nothing. You're not even eating food. You understand? You're not even eating food. You don't even know what you're eating. I would never take advice from somebody. What's your fruit? Before you get to talking to me, show me the fruit. Let me read your resume. Are you qualified? You check people like that, and you'll see that most people they ain't even got no business talking. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the fruit to support or back up all them words. They don't have it. It ain't there. You can't talk to me about investing in the stock market unless you crushing it. If you suck like me, what I want to listen to you for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I need like Warren Buffett or somebody. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I've heard, I believe I heard you say this too, or I've said it. I know I've said it, but like if you're overweight and I'm overweight, I don't want to learn how to lose weight from you. You know what I'm saying? Like I like when I used to go to the gym, I would see overweight people training other overweight people. Make it make sense.
That's how it is
Make it
everywhere.
make sense.
You got
I-
overweight nurses and overweight doctors treating a whole bunch of sick, overweight patients. Like, I hate going to hospitals because I don't even take any of the practitioners seriously. And like they always eat fast food. They always huddled around eating pizza, subs. You can hear them taking their lunch orders. They don't get any sleep. They're like the anti-health. Like their entire existence is anti-health and anti-wellness. But these are the people that our family, like our mothers, it's always the older Black woman or older melanated woman who will see their own family thriving, but will skip right past that because they're so perfectly conditioned and programmed to believe in the white coats and their doctor. So they would rather go on to medications, believe everything they're told. They can't heal they can't heal from nothing, and they don't want to eat fruit. They don't want to eat anything that's going to require some discipline. And they'll go and get advice from their overweight oncologist. Like I've heard an oncologist tell a family member of mine in the doctor's office who's battling cancer to suck on Jolly Ranchers. And she was an
You know what?
doctor. So like it's crazy. Overweight people being a personal trainer for another overweight person. And then you got overweight doctors treating these sick patients. It's like we live in a circus.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bobby.
No. I would just I asked that because the big talk right now is like me and Lashay was talking earlier, people having a problem with perfectionism. And I told you, Kev, that's why a lot of people in the group and stuff, and the numbers that's getting achieved in the group, we got people on day 56. We got somebody in the 60s, right? Like these numbers are like people are starting to feel bad after they go to 60 days of watermelon. I got 60 days of watermelon. I wish I could have went longer. Well, of course, but you did 60 days of watermelon. Like this is unprecedented territory that we in. So I think that's why it's a mindset thing because okay, after that 60 days, what happens? What happens now? Because I even noticed last year when watermelon season was over with, a lot of people was contacting me like, Bobby, what we eat now? That's why it's like, where do we go from here after the watermelon? So to talk about that though, talk a little bit about the watermelon washout experience. How talk a little bit about how you feel in the group coaching setting, because last year we wasn't doing no coaching. Last year we was doing this for us, and I heard you say in the watermelon washout that you feel like this journey is for others now. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Yeah. Last year I did it. I started off, to get free from addictions. I achieved that, and throughout the rest of that journey, I just was receiving like different whys, like different reasons to keep going. One of those, like a really strong why, was just how much was being poured into me, what I was talking about earlier. like the way my eyes were being opened throughout that period, it was just, oh man, you know, that's my heartbeat right there. You know, this like just being in tune with the spirit, you know, what people call spirituality, you know, like that's my lifeline. Like there's nothing that means more to me than that, you know, and it was just coming. It was just so much. I was like, hell yeah. And I'm just writing the shit down, making videos and like all kind of things, you know. Um, this year, like when you and me talked, like I still remember where I was at, you know, and we was talking about it and you brought it up. And I don't know if I told you this, but I know just in me thinking about it myself, like would I do it again? You know, just being aware that that time is coming up. And like I would just like my answer to myself was always, I don't have a reason to do it now. You know, I don't have a why strong enough that will just inspire me to eat just watermelon for a prolonged period of time. Like I'm already like I'm eating fruit, like I'm good, you know. And like we had that conversation and I can't even tell you what happened, but something just happened. It just like clicked and the people became my why. It's like people need to see it again, you know. And I'm like, okay, like that, you know.
Mm.
And along with that came just a really strong desire to do it where it wasn't there before. And I just really believe that this is needed. And if you just look at the things that happened up to this point, you can see that it was needed again. Like look at like the connections we've made, like the people that we've met, the people that we've helped, you know, the people who have changed, been transformed, you know, like amazing things have been happening like during this journey, this watermelon washout. And it's all about them. You know, people have been being set free from different things. People have been healing. A lot of really powerful things have been happening in that watermelon washout group. I don't know what's going on outside the group, but in the group, there's a lot of powerful things happening. And so, yeah, it was absolutely necessary, you know. And one thing I'm noticing though, this is just from what I see, you know, just based on the number of people that are in the group, there's not a lot of people in the group that are serious, you know, like there's, unless they're just quiet and just don't want the attention, you know, but, you know, you see a few, like a handful of people that are serious, that are going after what they deserve and are not going to take no for an answer. You know, you would think that's all 130 plus people would have that attitude, but they don't. You know, go ahead.
No, I was when you said that, you know, that's what I always talk about. The fact that when you start with, like, say, the 130 people, if you think about it right now, it's always going to be like a third of the people always. You know what I'm saying? That take it real serious. Some people don't know what they getting into. You know what I mean? Like real, even in the smaller challenges, it'd be crazy because it's the same exact results. This is like a theme in everything that goes on when it comes to this transitional eating, man. People, and when you fall off the wagon, this is no, I don't care who you are, what group you've been in, and I'm pretty sure people who out there experiencing this for the first time, when you run these groups, when people fall off, they stop participating. They stop participating. It goes away. So it's like one of them things where you gotta find a way to focus in on the serious people. So, and what you have been doing in the group, that's why even today, something happened to where somebody had to exit the group because they weren't taking it so serious. So you keep the intensity high by keeping the seriousness of it high. And with your group coaching, I noticed I wanted to talk about this. Last year we wasn't doing coaching, Kev. Neither one of us was coaching me. I was doing a little, like you said, you had like a client. I had maybe somebody I was coaching, one or two people. But now you actually coach Kev. Like, is the approach different, the temperament different than last year, especially because you helping people in that way? And how are you doing? How does it feel being in that position now as a coach?
Well, just listening to you talk, I realized that you asked some questions that I didn't answer last time, like about how would I, talk to somebody about transitioning, and I think you asked something else. I just, got it. But the coaching, and I'll come back to that if I remember. Is my temperament different? I'm the same. I mean, I feel like that's, the people that want to work with me, one of the reasons they want to work with me, because they know that I don't play no games. They know I don't sugarcoat. I don't water nothing down. I'm going to give it to them like it is. And the truth is, a lot more people need it like that than realize, and like I'm just, my whole thing is, you're gonna take responsibility for yourself. Period. We're not blaming nothing on nobody. It's you. Now from there, see, like I don't even, like when I'm working with somebody, I don't even focus on what they're eating at all, outside of just general information, just so I know, so we can like monitor your progress. I don't care about what you eat. That's not important. What's important is why you're eating it. What's important is what's going on inside of you, right? Like, why are you hurting so bad? Like, why aren't you happy? All the reasons you got to be happy and thankful. Why aren't you? You know what I mean? You know how many people are homeless throughout this world? How many people don't eat at all throughout this world? Like, you should see like what people eat in other parts of the country, just because they don't have the options because they're so poor. There's kids that literally sleep in trash dumps because they're so poor. Adults too. Imagine going to work, a full day work, and at the end of your day, you barely got enough money to buy something to eat. We're not even talking about rent and stuff like that and clothes. I'm talking about you barely have enough money to buy something to eat. Like, there's people living like this. Like, and even worse, And over here, like, why aren't you happy? Like, what's going on? Right? So I work with people more like that. Because at the on the surface is what they're eating. On the surface is the addiction. But the addiction isn't even about what they're eating. That's not even what they're addicted to. They're addicted to the comfort they get from eating it. Like drug addicts aren't addicted to the drug, it's the feeling that they get. It's that peace that they never experience until they're high. It's that joy that they never experience until they're high. That state of calmness and tranquility that they never experience until they're high. Because they don't know how to manage this world up here. So their inner world is full of chaos. They have no control over their thought life. Right? Horrible thought management skills. So I work with people on deeper levels. You address that, then the rest is just gonna fall in line. That's what I did. Like I know that works. Like I did that on me. Like I was sharing this on one of our Zooms, but when I was eating like vegan and then I became aware that it was just as bad as Sata, I never focused on what I was eating. That was never the focus. And when I would go get whatever I would go get, I enjoyed it. Like I never tried to stop eating whatever it was I was eating. That was never where I was putting my energy. I was focusing my energy on in here. What's going on in here? Like looking for those answers. Why am I eating this? I want to eat fruit. Why can't I eat fruit? It's all about the why. So that's the way I work with people. I mean, that's what I know works. And so that's that. As far as the transition, and if it's still relevant at this point.
Indeed.
Yeah. I think I did. I did. Like I touched on it a little bit. But when I talk to people about transitioning, my approach is always, just helping them to see through the illusions. For the most part, although people know that they're not eating healthy, right? In a general sense, people know. That's why people join challenges like the washout and the fruit up till and all these different challenges. That's why they join challenges. That's why they hire people like you and me and Shay. You doing some coaching, ain't you, Shay?
Yep, I help people with their transition. So I'm dealing with the addicts, weaning them off.
Yeah, so I lost it. It just left. It was gonna be good too. Whatever I was about to say was about to be really good, and it just left.
No, you were saying, you was like, when people hire me and hire people like you and hire people like Shay.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Yeah,
so, I always got to be listening.
Hey, I was just testing you. That's all.
Facts.
Hey, no, like people know in a general sense that they're eating unhealthy. That's why they hire us and yada yada yada, right? But they don't know, no, right? They don't know exactly what they're eating. They don't know the details. When you learn about what you're eating and all the diseases it's linked to, that, hey, that's inspiration right there. That's inspiration, you know. And you have to understand. Okay, so like I remember we talked about this on one of our last Zooms, but there's confusion about knowing, right? And what you got to understand is there's different levels. There's levels for everything, and there's different levels of knowing. There's different levels of understanding, right? The first level, the most basic level, is when you're able to just commit it to memory, right? So, you know, if you were asked a question about it, you could recite it back. Boom. That's the most basic level of knowing, right? That doesn't mean you understand it. That doesn't mean you know it, you know, at a level where it's going to produce fruit in your life. That just means you memorized it. That's it. You know, like you think of a quack in the hospital. You know, they go to all those years of school and they memorize a lot of things well enough to pass a test. And they don't have any understanding at all about being healthy. They can't tell you the first thing about being healthy. They don't even know what food is. They just memorized a lot of things. They don't know anything. They don't understand anything. All that schooling, and they poison themselves when they eat too. Right? So there's different levels. And the way I've always measured it is it producing fruit in my life? Is this truth that I say I know and understand producing fruit in my life? And if it's not producing fruit, then I don't know it or understand it well enough, despite what I think. Like what I think is irrelevant. Is it producing fruit? If it's producing fruit, then okay, I'm getting somewhere. If it's not producing fruit, I got more work to do. You know what I mean? So when I work with people, like just like the Zoom class, Why We Crave, and the group cravings. That's what the group and the class is all about. You know, and the idea behind it is to get people to do this for themselves. Show them how to do it, and then, you know, take the training wheels off and push them, and they ride the bike. Do it for yourself. Research what you're eating. Don't just eat anything and don't even know what you're eating. Read the labels. Look up the ingredients. You know, the more you do this, like I went through all kind of different emotions, you know, as I just grew in my awareness of what these industries are selling to us to eat and telling us is food. And it's like, on one hand, you know, I want to say it should be criminal. Like they all should be in prison. But on the other hand, nobody's making nobody eat it.
Facts.
Right? We make those choices. You know, they made it. They put it on the shelves. They didn't make you buy it. Yeah, they may make it addictive, but they didn't make you buy it. So, you know, we got to take responsibility for ourselves. It's always going to point back to that. And the more you know about what you're putting in your body, and the damage it's causing, whether you are aware of it or not. The more you know, the easier it'll be to leave it alone, especially when you first starting out. You know, so that's how I work with people on transitioning. And it's never about focusing on like the slip ups, the mistakes, you know, I fell off, all these things, because all these things just let you know where you really are.
Facts.
You know, when I fell off after a year of fruit, you know, I wasn't mad or anything about it. You know, I just accepted, okay, I'm not where I thought I was. And I knew that, like reflecting back, because I remember having thoughts like, man, like I'm flying really high right now. Am I going to be able to sustain this? I don't think I can sustain this. I don't think I'm ready for this. Like I would have those types of thoughts, you know, and I fell off. I wasn't able to sustain it. I just wasn't there yet. That's all that means, you know, and that's a thank you. Like that's something to be thankful for, because it helps to identify, you know, where the issue is, what needs to be addressed so you can sustain it. So they're all gifts. They're all everything. It all works for your good. It all works for our good. You know, it's all about just how you perceive it, how you interpret it. And when you know that everything is to your advantage, you're always at the advantage. You know. So yeah.
Do you ever, Kev? Do you ever think you'll eat cooked food again?
Hell no.
Not even like in the food, like in the Rocky form where you're eating the cooked fruits and all of that.
I don't even believe in that. I don't even believe in that, because that word, that's just one of those fancy words that means to denature, right? That's all that means. It's like that's all they do. They play this word play game, right? Where they change the name to everything to make it more appealing. You know, right? Like just how they do with animal flesh. Like you're talking about an animal that's been dead for 30 days or more, right? And they probably got hundreds of different names for all these different cuts of this flesh, of this dead body. It's all the same thing. It's the rotting, decaying flesh of a dead animal, of a dead pig, a dead cow, bird, whatever. It's all the same thing, right? And that's what they do. They'll change the name of it, right, to make it more appealing. And so that's all cooking is, right? Anytime you cook something, you denature it. You take it out of its natural state, which means you make it unnatural. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Right? And like if you got to do that, you're not supposed to be eating it. Like a lot of people like eat things that they're not supposed to eat. Right? It's inedible. Like think about that. It's inedible, not in its natural state. So you have to denature it. And a lot of people do it with what they call cooking. Right? It's too hard in its natural state. So you make it soft. You know, it's to this, it's to that. So you denature it, and then you add some seasoning to it. You know, you mix and you make it edible. That's unnatural. You're not supposed to make unedible things. However you say that word, non-edible. You're not supposed to make non-edible things edible. There's too many fruit on this planet to be doing that. There's thousands of different fruits on this planet that are edible. in their natural state. It don't make any sense to take something that you can't eat in its natural state and make it to where you can eat it and make it taste good. So like that like for me, that ain't even, that ain't even nothing to think about. Like, believe me though, like I've thought about it a lot. I've thought about it a lot. I've questioned it from every angle I could think of. And, when you can sort through their wordplay and see things for what it really is, and when you're able to call it what it really is, and you speak the truth about it becomes crystal clear. It just becomes crystal clear at that point. The clarity, like there's no confusion about it no more. And like Shay said earlier, it's just common sense. No other species does that. No other species. Every other species, if they try to eat something and it's nasty, they move on. Human beings are the only species that taste something, it's ugly, it's nasty, it's hard, can't even chew it. I got an idea.
Yeah. That's because we live on two different paradigms. You've got the paradigm of common sense, which is the people who follow the laws of nature, people who follow natural law. And then you have the paradigm of the matrix of modern day society, where these governments, the controlling of the mind of the population, they have their academia and they have their institutions. And the institutions, they go on the laws of scientific theory. So the scientific theory, they've created nutritionalists, and they have all these degrees that tell us what's healthy. I was watching a video on TikTok today, and it was a TikTok shop video, and this woman had a scale. She was trying to sell a scale. So she's also trying to make it an educational video talking about the things that she was weighing on the scale. So she weighed a Chick-fil-A sauce on the scale, literally poured the sauce out and put it on the scale for whatever reason, and then was counting the calories of it and going into the science of the calories or whatever, and the protein and all that. Then she did it with a bowl of Cookie Crisps and like these different poisons, these drugs. And everybody in the comments are all having this intellectual debate about nutrition and fitness. And I'm just sitting here thinking, he's so focused on counting the calories on this scale of this stuff, not even considering counting the ingredients in the shit. Because, like, are we really out here talking about calorie density of Chick-fil-A sauce? And they're speaking, she's speaking in this like official capacity as some sort of authority in her space because she's a nutritionist or whatever. So she's not talking about how destructive the toxins and the drugs are that she's weighing for people to consume. She's just talking about the caloric intake of that. So I'm just sitting here thinking we have to pivot from counting calories to counting ingredients for number one. And you have made a comment earlier about how, the government allows these corporations and the FDA approves the so-called foods to have a certain amount of drugs inside of them. And they put it on shelves, and maybe they should be in jail for that. However, they list the ingredients on these things, and people will pick up the box, see the ingredients or ignore them, and put it in their cart, pay for it anyways, go home and commence to committing suicide. And Amy Flanagan in the comments had made a comment about how fruitarianism is a big fuck you to the government. And it's so true, because this is a revolution. Like, who would have thought that a certain way of eating would be revolutionary? Like, you can't, like, yeah, everybody's got their own cause. Not every spirit or soul came here to fight the same cause. We all came here individually for our own purpose. I do believe it's a really unique purpose to come here and manifest as a being who influences humanity to what is the word? Deprogram from the science-based way of living versus the natural law way of living. It's like getting people literally back to nature, because we've been so indoctrinated by the matrix paradigm of what the institutions tell us is healthy, because like everyone is so obsessed with protein. And I have to do some more research on protein, because Professor Spira, he had said something about the word protein was actually invented by some like sociopath. But anyways, I got to do more research into that, because that's interesting. But it is interesting how simply eating fruit is bucking it to the system, because they want us sick. So it's like, even if you ate their pesticide fruit and came home, cleaned it with baking soda or whatever it is you use, that's still better than going and eating the toxic crap, you know? And I feel like they like to throw confusion in that too. They try to get us scared of fruit, you know, with the talking about, oh, that's GMO, oh, that doesn't have seeds, oh, this has pesticides. It's like they try to get us afraid of the fruit so that we don't, in the very least, we have access to us, what we have access to start our cleansing.
Yeah, it's really deep. Like, when you think about it, everything's energy, right? Like, everything. This includes everything you put in your body, everything you eat. It's energy, right? And it's either a high vibrating energy or a low vibrating energy, or somewhere in between, right? And so, what type of, say, energies exist or vibrate at low levels, right? Hate, jealousy, envy, insecurity, low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, stress. These are all low vibrating energies, right? And then high vibrating energies, right? Love, joy, peace, gratitude, compassion, forgiveness, things like that, right? And everything you eat, everything you consume, everything you drink is energy. And it vibrates on a certain frequency. Everything. So everything you eat is going to affect your entire life, right? It's going to change the way you think, whether positively or negatively. This is going to influence the decisions you make. It's going to affect your judgment, your perception, your mood, the way you feel, everything, right? All of our suffering is rooted in us eating things that we're not supposed to eat. Period.
I don't know. Like, I think, well, you know what though? It's a lot more people starting to get it. A lot more people starting to get it, and I can imagine, Kev, people coming to you, they know what they getting. You know what I'm saying? They know what to expect. Like, you can't come to a coach like that knowing that you can't say certain things and feel sorry about yourself for certain stuff. So it's a mindset coach that's needed in a community where people are often babied about what they're eating and how they're feeling about what they're eating. You know what I'm saying? That you literally got to baby some of these people. And that's just the reality of it. Not to even down talk people, but that's how it is. We definitely want to take a couple questions, though. I got one right here from my brother Tiger Carper. Shouts out to my brother Tiger Carper. He said, we do many things that other species don't do given divine intelligence. Do you believe we are here to play with the elements and evolve?
I seen that post.
Yeah.
I seen where he posted that. I said, I'm just gonna keep scrolling.
Well, he asked you now, so
yeah, no, see, like I don't entertain beliefs, right? I either know or I don't know. I don't play that believe game. I believe. I either know or I don't know. You know, I don't play the I think game. You know, I don't play the opinion game. You know, I don't even I'm not aware of any opinions that I have because I just don't allow opinions to exist in my life. What good is an opinion? That's just something that you don't know. I can't do nothing with that. Either I know or I don't know. I'm going to do everything I can with what I know. And the rest, I don't care about. You know, you ask me about, hey, I don't know. Right? So playing with the elements, like one, when I read that, I just like formed an assumption. But I would want clarity on exactly what he meant by that. Play with the elements. Like, what do that mean? What do you mean exactly by that?
I ain't gonna speak for him. If he's still in here, I'll let him speak for himself. But I'm gonna take a guess out there when he's saying like maybe even something like juicing or mixing different fruits, or I don't know. Lashay, do you know a little more insight about that?
I don't know. When I think of elements, I think about the periodic table of elements. Maybe play with.
Too deep, Shay. Damn. Like what?
I was not thinking.
Like, what is that?
That's a fact, though. But that's what I'm assuming that elements is being used as like the food. We ain't here to play around with the food a little bit, change up things a little bit to our enjoyment. Maybe, if I had to guess.
I'm thinking earth, wind, fire, water.
Yeah. That elements.
Yeah.
That's the elements. Earth, wind, fire, water, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, if he being literal, yeah. But I don't see how we playing with the elements in that way. I definitely don't think we're supposed to be playing with them.
And evolve. So we have the elements to manipulate, and we are here to evolve. Oh yeah, you're right. Mixing herbs, juicing, eating cooked foods that are beneficial without leaving metabolic waste. I mean, there's so many different modalities of healing and ways to get the same thing accomplished. But
well, I mean, okay, so eating, okay. We already talked about what he's calling cooked.
Yeah. What is your opinion on herbs? I never really heard you speak about herbs like that.
I'm gonna hit the juice. Oh, go ahead. Okay, so I do herbs. With the herbs, I don't really have nothing to say on that. You know, I'm not sure exactly where I stand on that. You know, like on one end, like, you know, you hear like tons of like testimonials from people that have taken different herbs and, sometimes combined with, and sometimes not combined with a fruit diet. Like I've heard stories of people that's full standard American diet, take herbs, say like, especially like sea moss, for example, right? And feel better. I can only go off of my experience. There's people that claim that they went to hell, and came back. There's people that people claim all kinds of things. I can only speak on my experience. That's all that I know. But when I look out and I see like there's people like Yaki, right? I remember when Yaki was like just before he blew up, right? And he blew up primarily helping people heal from diseases using herbs.
Yeah.
He healed himself from a lot of different things with this one juice, right? Just throw juicing in there too, right? With this one juice, this green juice he was drinking, they gave a recipe on and it just went nuts. Everybody was drinking it, right? And different herbs, right? His 3 bitters are like famous, right? So, I'm not gonna deny all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then if you go I go to the Bible for certain things, right? Because there's a lot you could say about the Bible, and it's probably all true. How it's been tampered with, you could talk about King James, like things have been added to it, things have been taken out. There's a lot, and that's all true, right? But that don't mean that the entire Bible is bullshit.
Right.
Right? You could turn the news on and catch some truth in there here and there. Right? So, and Genesis 1:29, that's just been something I've been on for a while. God gave us when we were in paradise, right? Paradise, heaven on earth, no suffering, no sickness, disease, blah, blah, blah. God gave us fruits and herbs with seeds. This is your meat. The fruits and the herbs with the seeds. This is your meat. Right? So, yeah. That's about as far as I'm gonna go with that. To say it's wrong, I'm not gonna say.
Right.
It's definitely, from what I understand, like it's not something that you could just play with. Like you got to know what you're doing, right? Like you have to know, and this is what turns me off about it. It's the complexity of it, right? I don't know if this is how they did it back then, right? But it's the complexity of it. You got to know, and I don't know how people figure this out, but when you start mixing different herbs together, you have to know the ratios of each one. Because if you put too much of one and not enough of the other, then it's not going to work. You're not going to get the benefit. And I believe, yeah, some of them herbs are poisonous, right? You have to, you can't eat or you can't consume too much, right? Because they could have toxic side effects. So there's a science to, playing with herbs and mixing them and creating these different things, you know. So yeah, you know, I like simplicity. You know, that's the reason why I mono eat. Like even with fruit mixing, right? Even with fruit mixing, it'd be like the same. Like I remember just reading just different posts about what you can mix with what, and don't mix this with that, don't mix that with this, yada yada. I'm like, damn, why is eating so complicated? Right? And what's interesting is when I was full standard American diet, I mixed everything. I never heard anything. I did hear a little bit. Like I remember my mom saying, "You don't mix starches with something." I mean, I did it anyway. Like I took no thought about mixing things. I mixed everything. Like it didn't matter. You know, I mean, you think about it, right? You know, standard American diet, you know, the average thing you eat, you know, probably has like 40 different ingredients in it. You know, you're eating 40 different things at one time, and none of it's food. You know, so I just like simplicity, man. Mono eating, just eating one fruit. You don't have to worry about mixing the wrong stuff together, you know, because you're not mixing nothing, right?
Facts.
So I like simplicity. And, you know, the truth is always found in simplicity,
Always.
you know.
Always.
As soon as it start getting complicated, I mean, if like, yeah. So I just
When I
go ahead.
no, when I first came online, that was like one of the big things. That's how I kind of got into like getting notoriety and people looking at me in a different way because I would join these Facebook groups, like, and they would be huge Facebook groups with a lot of members in them, and you would post in there like some watermelon with strawberries in it, and you would get attacked for it. You know what I'm talking about, Shay? When we was like going, when we first started online, I was coming out, and I would go against the grain. I would tell people like it don't matter what you mix, long as you eating fruits, because that's when I always said people make everything too complicated to where the point where people don't want to do it no more.
Yeah. Even if there is a science to it, there are people who are just trying to learn how to eat healthy. So they go to the grocery store, they buy a whole bunch of fruit, they go and make them a fruit salad. They excited. They just joined some fruit communities. They ready to participate. They sharing. Here come all the perfect ass raw vegans. Like, if you don't sit your ass down, like I'm so tired of these people in these damn groups. Like with that, oh, you're not supposed to mix watermelon with anything. Melons are just faster. I know. That don't stop me from wanting to do it anyways, for number one. And number two, like it's nothing wrong with educating people. I get it. Like you want to make sure people are doing things properly. However, when someone is new and they already been told that they can't eat their pork no more, they can't eat their beef, and they trying to get off chicken, and then they just found out rice ain't good for you. All the stuff they thought they was getting ready to start eating, they can't eat eggs, they can't eat beans, they can't eat this. Everything is mucus forming, everything is acidic. It's levels. Like people, it's a shock when you're coming from eating standard American and you're just trying to transition. But it's almost easier to do without all that knowledge, without knowing. I genuinely, there's sometimes I just rather not know, and I'd rather just learn by experiencing it, because when you're bombarded with all of this knowledge from everybody, these, everyone who's perfect, like I've gotten attacked in groups for sharing fruit, for sharing watermelon in the same groups. Oh, this is harmful to your gut. You're not supposed to do this. This is like everybody's an expert. Like you would think it would just be like sad versus the holistic community, but no, it's literally sad against the holistic community against everybody is on their own high horse, so to speak, based on their level of knowledge and experience. Everyone wants to educate everyone. There's a lot of ego involved, and it deters a lot of people from simply making a choice because it seems so complicated and they're told they can't eat anything. And then you have the Dr. Sabi diet where you can only eat from the approved list of the Dr. Sabi food and all that. People just say F this and then they go back to Chick-fil-A because they know how to eat Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? Like it could be very overly complicated, and I understand food combining. There's levels to it, but just allow people to meet people where they're at so that they can at least feel good about what they're doing. But it's already enough confusion. It's already hard to get out of the unhealthy eating habits and routines. So I just do you.
You
And I
know,
get it.
it's that the word transition was coming up a lot, right? And that's what it is. It's a transition. It's a journey. You know how many steps there were for me to get to where I'm at now? Like before I heard all of these people, which is not the word I wanted to use. But, um, they're idiots in my mind. Like I just feel like they're idiots. You know, before, like I seen these posts. You're not supposed to be standing there. Shut the fuck up. Right? Because like what you was just saying, you're talking about somebody that's coming from the standard American diet, right? Trying to transition, literally coming off of drugs to eat fruit, to eat healthy, just to eat healthier. And then they're in these groups, and then you got these idiots saying, like, and they're eating fruit and they're feeling good about themselves. And then you have these idiots, you can't mix that with that. Shut the fuck up. What is it gonna do? What is it gonna do? When I first started, I was mixing hella shit together. Earlier in my transition, I had vegetables, I had fruit, I had dried fruit, I had all kind of shit. Eating it at the same time. Seeds, nuts, oranges, bananas, broccoli, cauliflower, like pumpkin seeds, with salt, all kind of shit. Like, and I'm eating all of that at the same time. It's part of my transition. People don't just go from one extreme to perfection. It's a journey in between. And everybody's journey is different. And none of us are the author of anyone's journey. We're not even the author of our own journey. Right? So just get the fuck out the way and let them do them. Let them go at their pace. Do what they feel comfortable doing. Let them learn from experience. Like Shay said, it is a lot of ego. It's a hell of a lot of ego. It's like everybody want to look important and look knowledgeable and look smart. Like, ooh, look at me. I know all this shit.
Facts.
Right? It's ego. It's not genuine. Right? Anytime, like, you just blurt out some it's not genuine. Have a conversation with them. See where they at. Talk about, see where they coming from. You know what I mean? It's not genuine if you're not even trying to understand the person first. You're just blurting out instruction, direction, blah, 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 blah. Shut up.
Facts. Facts.
You don't care about me. They don't care about people. That's not the motive behind it. You know nothing about the person you're talking to. And you don't care to know. Like, they don't care to know.
And I told you that's where we was gonna win that, Kev. Like, when and because the thing that set us apart and the niche that's in the community is that we care about the people. We care about where they at. We literally talk to the people. We in there with them, like diving deep with them. So if you don't understand the people, you can't see their pain. You can't relate to their pain. You can't help them. You can't be the painkiller to pain that you can't identify with. So if somebody can't understand your pain or they don't identify with, they don't act like they understand it or care about it, they're not there to help you. And that's an easy way to identify real good coaching.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. What about asking me some questions first?
Indeed.
Before you blurt out all this advice and show me how smart you are. Right? Why don't you try to understand me first? Like, get to know me a little bit. But no, these people, they don't do that.
Mm-mm.
They don't do that.
Nope.
Because they really don't care. And you got somebody that was feeling good about themselves, right? Like, man, I'm fucking doing it. I ate fruit today. And then you got somebody else, you did it all wrong. All that's wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why would you even do that? Like, literally, like, what's going to happen? Like, look at where we come from. Like, you're eating fruit. You're winning. It's like Shay, even if it's been sprayed with pesticides, fruits remove toxins from the body, you still winning. That's why people go on fruit to heal. Because whatever poisons are still in the body that's affecting your health, them fruits, they have astringent properties. They're going to attract them toxins and escort them out. So even if the fruits have been sprayed, the fruits are going to escort them pesticides right out the body. Right? So if you're eating fruit, you're winning. If you mix this fruit with that, you're winning. It's fruit. And nobody say nothing about when you mix the flesh of a dead cow, right, with some denatured potatoes, with a carbonated beverage, with a slice of just a big mound of sugar shaped into like a slice of something, right? Like a slice of, I don't know.
I thought a cheesecake when you said that.
I didn't want to say that though. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing but just a pile of toxic, addictive sugar. It's just a lump of drugs. You mixing all that together, ain't nobody saying nothing. How it tastes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it good? Right? But then, so if you could do that, and I'm not saying that's good or healthy or anything like that, but come on.
Yeah.
Come on. So, you definitely gotta know, you gotta learn how to ignore people. You gotta learn how to block them, unfollow, unfriend, mute, just delete them out your whole life.
Yeah.
It's easy to do on social media, just a few clicks. and they can't come back.
Yeah.
Ain't like real life. You delete their number, you block their number. You in here? I just need to talk.
Hey, this is what a time to be alive, family. Hey, thank everybody out there for showing the love. I see everybody in the chat going crazy. Kev Ramon, overcoming addictions. Kev, before me and Lashay like to do, what we like to do is give the guests the floor before we leave. So that's exactly what we're gonna do with you. Give you the floor. You got the floor to say whatever you want, a message to the people, plug everything you got going on, and it's all love like that.
I appreciate it. And I mean, y'all have given me the floor throughout this entire, podcast. So, I appreciate that. It's not a lot that I want to say or plug, I don't really just talk to talk, I respond to questions, I answer questions, things like that. But I'm not really into just talking just to be talking. But what I will say is what you've said several times and what's scrolling across the bottom. Grab that book, Overcoming Addictions. That book will help you. In that book, I'm sharing with the reader what I did to overcome addictions. And this book, I just put it out, but I've been living these things for decades. The standard American diet, SATA, I call it the boss of all addictions. That was the boss level, right? And I beat that with the things I'm sharing in this book. Like, if you think about this for a second, people, they overcome crack addiction, heroin addiction, cocaine, meth addiction, but they're still standard American diet addicts. Like that's the boss level of all addiction, and I'm sharing not just how like I beat that one, but many others before. Like, I've been fighting, I didn't even know I was addicted to so many things. And just addictions that people struggle with. Like, I used to smoke 40 cigarettes a day. You talk about mixing. I used to go to the bar and mix dark and light liquor.
Mm.
I didn't want nothing under 90 proof. People try to say that weed is not addictive. That's bullshit. Because when you're hurting inside and something like weed makes you feel, it don't matter what it is, it makes you feel better. Like I was saying before, it's that peace that you're addicted to. And so, I've overcome things like effortlessly that people struggle with and in some cases never overcome. And I've never done it by focusing on the addiction. I never stopped smoking cigarettes, trying to stop smoking cigarettes or focusing on the cigarettes. It's just changing this right here. You just change this. You reprogram this. Like Shay said, you deprogram and then you reprogram. Right? That's all you got to do. That's where the focus should always be. Because anything in your life that's like just out of whack, the issue is always here. There's a virus running in your system. It's always that. It's always that. So yeah, that book will help you. Like that, it's a power. That book is more powerful than people know. It really is. It's more powerful than people know. And it doesn't matter what the addiction is. Like, that book will show you how to free yourself. So there's that. Check out my YouTube channel, subscribe to my channel, show some love, show some support. If you feel that for me, like, you know what I mean? If you rock with me, give me a sub. Kev Ramon is the channel. Kev Ramon Fruitarian. And yeah, that's the soft cover, Overcoming Addictions. The soft cover is coming out soon. I should have the first copy of that shortly. So we're gonna have like the paperback version available. So I know there's been people that print it because it is a short book. There's been people that printed the book out themselves because they wanted a physical copy that bad. Right. So paperback is coming out soon. And I appreciate you, Bobby, and you, Shay, just for the podcast and for having me on. Always what it is between you and me, Bobby. Like, it's always an honor, brother. You know what I mean? You my guy, and you just different. And like, I fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I still like, I've never met. Well, I told you this already. Like, I only talk to like 2 people, and you're one of them.
That's
like,
insane.
I mean, talk to them, like talk, like have conversations, right? You're one of them. I'm super picky about that. And it's never anything personal. It's just, is this person gonna help me elevate? It always comes down to that. Yeah. Is this person gonna be supportive or encouraging? Or are they gonna be like an obstacle? Right? Are they gonna bring peace? More peace, or are they gonna bring bullshit, strife, drama, bunch of issues?
Facts.
And, so yeah, like that's like, I actually, like, I got this gratitude box, and I started this gratitude challenge, and like, I just added your name to it today. I just added different people's names to it that that I'm just grateful for whatever reason. And like, you're in there. So if like on my challenge, the way I do it, I shake the box up. Like, I just started recording this. I shake the box up, I pull something out, whatever it is, boom. I give gratitude for that, and I talk about why. And that's a video. So if you see a video, I'm grateful.
Hey, man, I'm honored. You already know how I feel about us. You my brother, man. Like, I tell you, I've learned so much from you. And like, when I told Shay we gonna get Kev on the podcast, I was like, Kev said yeah. She was like, of course he did. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, that's true love. And like you say, it's crazy how you say, is this person gonna help me elevate? And that's what you helped me do. Since I've met you, that's what you help me do. And you continue to do it every time we speak, every time we work together, every time we vibe. So it's continued growth, and what you doing, not what you doing for the community, but what you do for yourself, and how you stand up and be yourself authentically with, like, don't care about nothing else but yourself and being yourself. That's the most encouraging, inspiration thing on the planet right now. Right now. And that's what people are paid to help them learn how to be themselves.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you and I are been supporting them do it that way. Lashay, you got any final words for us?
Yeah, get the Overcoming Addictions book. I read it. It changed me overnight. That thought management chapter did it for me. If you want to deconstruct your beliefs about what you believe food is, and if you just need it broken down in its most simplest format, just to knock some common sense inside of you. Like shit you already know, but you want to act like you don't know because you want to keep eating pig butt. Just get the book.
Pig booty.
They
You ain't
love
gonna
it too. They love it.
you ain't gonna want the chicken on Thanksgiving no more. So
I'm
just
glad
Ah,
I ain't had no watermelon in my mouth when you said that. 'Cause that shit was.
overcomingaddictions.info family, overcomingaddictions.info. Go grab that right now. Right now. If you don't have it, if you do have it, go get it again and give it to somebody else. agameherbal.com, code food up 15 for 15% off a 1 month supply. Make sure you go there right now. watermelonwashout.com. Family, it ain't over with. If you still want to get in there, still want to heal, still want to just see how far you can go, still want to lose some weight, we are still in there. We still doing the Zoom meetings for the VIP. Me and my brother in there every Sunday night, going in there with the people, diving deep. So watermelonwashout.com. We got a lot going on. We got a lot for the people. This is the opportunity. There's so many opportunities for you to get healthy and get your life straightened. All you got to do is show up and participate. We giving free information out every week. Kev Ramon giving free information out, going live every single day. Lashay going live every day on YouTube. Follow the movement. Stay in with the movement, family. You too. Y'all know y'all my brother and sister. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Juice champs. Let's have a wonderful night. We appreciate the love, family. Fruit up.
fruit up, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. After this live is over, hit that like button. It puts us in the algorithm. It grows the channel. Don't come here and just get free game and then walk out of here. Okay? Love
Right.
you. Bye.
Overcomingaddictions.info, family. Peace.